Just do a sanity check here, in case you're wondering. Okay. I don't know why. One of my metrics is giving me a bad signal right now. It's telling me that things are going poorly, and OBS is saying it's fine. Um, but it's like you always make them argue with each other. So if one of them says things aren't going well, you try to believe it until proven otherwise. Okay, so we're gonna start back on this. And, oh, I think I clicked the wrong one. I did not mean to do that. Let's see. We were down here at quick save number 10. I lost a bunch of data yesterday, sadly, because it crashed towards the end. But should be able to get back on track fairly quickly. Okay, so where are we? Let me reacquaint myself with wherever this quick save left off. Lots of spam. We've got Minmus Station. We probably got an alarm. Yeah, that's going in 4 days. And we've got we have anything else here? We've got a space station. What's this space station look like? I don't remember the space station, I'll be honest. Okay. This does have a pilot and it has a scientist on board. Are we doing research? We are doing research. So it's got some stuff going on. We need to deorbit our pilot here. So that's good to know. Because otherwise Valentina's just gonna be up there forever. Why is that flag all glitchy? This one's not. That one is. Okay. We'll go to the Space Center. We will find out what missions we had going, if any. Again, lost a bunch of data yesterday, so gonna have to just reacquaint myself a little bit. Outpost, simple scan, explore the Mun. They're flying by Minmus. And we are trying to rescue Migas from the Mun. Okay, so we need, what's it called? My Delta V planner. My trusty dusty Delta V planner. Need approximately 6,000. Delta V. Okay. That shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully we have this Minmus Mark II. was unstable, if I remember right. This became extremely unstable, and also, where are you? That rocket was not very good. That was Terrier. I think we want the Poodle for our interplanetary, well, our intersystem, our second stage. That one. So we probably want... Let's do this. We will take our... Oh, that's too much. Those are technically clipping. There we go. Now it's not. It's barely not, but it's not. We'll just give these. Oops. Bit of symmetry there. There we go. What do we have inside here? Just a bunch of batteries. We will want... Let's get communications. We'll want just a little guy. Put one in here. Do you fit nicely? No. Okay, well, in that case, can I put a little one of you? Really hard to put you anywhere good. I don't think I can do this out. Yeah, so what we'll do... We'll have you go like that. And we're just gonna rotate you a tiny amount. That. And shove you in there. There we go. See, look at that. Now when that pops out, it's just gonna go like that. It'll look a little bit funky. Technically, we'll have a pilot on board, so it's not really a big deal. But, you know, get rid of that. Okay, so this is our interplanetary, or not interplanetary, our secondary stage. Let's see how much we'll get on that. It's the Poodle. Has an ISP of 350 in a vacuum. Yeah, so it's even more efficient than the Terrier. That's what I thought. Is there a way to... Oh, it's even thicker than that. Why are you so thick? That's crazy. How about the Cheetah? Okay, so it's the Cheetah... That's this size. And how much delta V do you have? 741 in a vacuum. I think I need more than that. how much was this? This was one of these guys and one of these. Yeah, that was about 1,000. So if I just need to give it just a bit more. Let's give it maybe like that. And then that. It's still just a bit too small. So we'll do this. I don't quite that big. Let's, yeah, there we go. Okay, and then we'll do an engine shroud, an engine plate. There we go. And we want this like, what, medium short? Why do you do that? Do not like how it does that. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. Visually, I don't like it. It's not ideal. That's fine. Okay. We want all of those. So this gets us, whoops, 2,900 ish. We'll put that up to 10, 3,000. It gets us out to 4,000. Which is not quite enough. And then that gets us, so we should be at what, 3,200 ish between these two stages, the upper stage and the secondary stage. Which means the bottom stage needs to get us 3,000 ish. It's close. I feel like it's probably fine. I mean, these are a lot more efficient than you would think. But I do need... Generally speaking, I do need more fuel than less. Oops. Where's my big boy? Where's this guy? There it is. Okay. Let's get all these in here. That's 1.25. That's 1.01. So what are you? You're a skipper. Let's change you out. You're that guy. 280. $285. How much do you weigh though? 6 tons? That's 3. Let's see. Shoot, dude. Okay, so this is like 3,100. If I did that, it's a lot more. Let's see how much I can get out of this. 2489, 2625, 2549. $2608. This is probably as best as I can get right there. We do not want any engineers on this. We are simply trying to rescue a single pilot. All right. Hopefully these control surfaces are enough. I feel like I maybe want to do... come on. Or like that, just to help keep it a little more stable, because it has proven to be an extremely unstable rocket. This is not a good platform. It's very wobbly on the top. Plus the multiple things there is just not... Is that off center? Oh, that's so weird. Okay, well, it's fine. We'll get over it. We'll do fine. Okay. Get our SAS. Nice night launch. Get ourselves at least a little bit above the soupiest part of the atmosphere. Start changing our profile. Just pushing it gently to the side. Oops, missed the separation there by a little bit. Not by a lot. Okay, passing the sound barrier. This is where it usually gets a little unstable because of that awkward front. That's why I take a steeper launch profile. Kind of helps, so you're not pushing against the air as much sideways. And now that we're done with that, it should be fairly smooth sailing from here on out. We can get our... Whoops, that's not what I meant. Get our maneuver mode out here. You can see our Delta V is constantly trying to figure out what it's actually doing here, which is fun. Because we're losing fuel, but we're also going more and more into vacuum, and so it's trying to figure out how these different engines are reacting to that. Generally trending downward, which is what you would expect, but it is funny watching it bounce up and down a little bit. I think I turned a little too sharply. That's okay. That's why we've got this plasma going on right now. As long as we reach an apoapsis of 70,000, 70 kilometers, we'll be good. Might need to rely rely on that second stage a bit. I ejected a bit early. Did not mean to. Let's see if I can revert that. I really did not mean to do that. Accidentally hit space instead of X to cut my engine. Meant to have main engine cut off. Alright, let's... There we go. Let's do this again. Maybe we'll, now that we've worked out the kinks in the simulation. Maybe since I've added those extra control surfaces, maybe I can start the turn a little bit faster here. Going for booster separation. There they go. Approaching 10 kilometers. And the sound barrier. So we can turn on maneuver mode now. Continue to check our apoapsis, but we're on a good trajectory right now. Just slowly keep tipping it, just little by little, just slowly angling it down towards the horizon. Just trying to keep these about in line as the prograde marker goes towards the horizon. I'm just letting my nose slowly follow so we don't get too far outside of that bubble. And making sure that we're still climbing. Our apoapsis is still going up. Got a little bit of plasma burn, not as much as we had before. There we go. There it is. Beautiful parallax mod. Love it. Get rid of those. The control surfaces, they're not doing really any work anymore at this point. At 35 kilometers, they technically are still helping, but moving them around is probably doing more harm than good at this point. Shut off our main engine at this point, because our apoapsis is ridiculously high. I did not mean to get it this high. We want an encounter with the Mun. Just gonna let this go up. And just Adjust this. Let's focus. Where are we hitting this? Oh, that's pretty close, actually. All right. We've got way more than enough. I don't know why this is saying 0 at this point. But it shouldn't be. Let's open up our antenna. Just have this thing going. Readjust ourselves. Make sure we're checking our resources. Don't want to run out of that. Get ourselves up to that maneuver part direction. While we're at it, we'll just face those solar panels right into the sun. Oh, I have some on each side. Okay, well, never mind then. And we'll just warp over to that burn time. And ideally, we eject this. Oh, that's not going to happen. Not sure. Oh no. Oh, that's a... How did that happen? Excuse me? Okay. Huh. The... Okay. Well, we're gonna get rid of that. And we are... Oh, Jesus. Where are we flying off to? Where is that space station? You know what? We're going to set that as our target. We're going to readjust what we're doing here. because apparently I've screwed up. Yeah, we're just gonna warp. Because that wasn't very cool. I don't know. It must have enabled crossfeed or something. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But that upper stage tank should not have drained when it did. But gonna have to take it how it is. Can you do an EVA? Okay, well. That didn't work, but okay. It's fine. We will see how this goes. Should have plenty of fuel to make this maneuver, so I'm not really that worried about that part. I am just a bit annoyed that I'm going to have to do it at all. Okay. Pretty much got it where I want it. We're going to do a maneuver right here. Wait. Can I? Ooh. Hold on. I just do this. Can I get you? I can get you pretty close. How close are you? You're pretty close. Alright. Well, we'll just warp to that maneuver there. Keep our eye on our alarm clock here. Meanwhile, that debris is just gonna be hanging out there for a while till I can get a claw. Okay, we are going to limit our thrust. Let's say 10%. There. That should give us a little bit more wiggle room. Oh, that's so annoying. Why did that fuel go that way? Not happy about that. These are the joys of Kerbal Space Program. Sometimes you just gotta change your mission a little bit. This went from a rescue mission to a let's get Valentina off of the space station. Not a huge deal. Just a bit of a waste of money. I could have done it for a lot cheaper. Okay. Now we've got a pretty good separation. Where is our downward node, our descending node? We'll see if we can make this a little better. Sure can. Oop. Can I do even better? Let's... Nope, other way. we go. Okay, so we can get the separation down to that. Let's warp to that. On our alarms, we've still got three-ish days. Should be able to do. I can't do towards maneuver yet. I can almost do it. Jebediah is almost good enough, but not quite. Let's just speed this up just a bit so I don't have to wait the full minute. There we go. Slower burn than it has to be, but I like the precision of it. It's mostly normal in the normal direction. There is a little bit of else. Otherwise, I would just hit that button. Don't. Okay, we are 1.5 away. Now we're just going to do the lazy method, which is you warp clear over to there. It's not as efficient as it could be, but it's pretty close. It's not the least efficient, put it that way. But we get in here, and then we point to target, or retrograde to target, I should say. And what we're going to do is we are going to burn off all of that speed difference, I should say. This is symmetrical, but I don't think, yeah, the throttle is not being symmetrical. Cannot see the target, but it's out there somewhere. Okay. And then we just point towards the target, and you'll watch that intersection separation distance go right down. You don't want it to be too high of a speed difference, otherwise you'll just go right past it. 50 meters per second is quite fast comparatively. So once again, we're going to point retrograde to target. And as we approach, we're just going to... So it's going to have us... There's our time to intersect right there. 50 seconds. So we don't even need the map. This is part of what I love about KSP, is you can look at the map and you can do this and see all, exactly when that is. But if you want to play it kind of like you're sitting in the cockpit, you would have this information right there. You can just be like, oh, wonder when we're going to hit it. Don't know. But right about there. That, of course, would come from the tracking station on Earth, or in this case, Kerbin, which is pretty neat. Alright, we should... There it is. How fast that was whizzing by. Okay, now we're going to point directly towards it. We're just going to move a little bit ahead of it. There it is. We're going to pass within 70 meters of it, which is really close for just kind of winging the eyeball. Of course, I was trying to miss. I don't want to aim directly towards it and smash into it. 70 meters is not that far for a spacewalk, but we can do a little bit better. We're going to get, old Jebediah to get a little bit closer to Valentina here. Go point towards the target again. And point retrograde one last time. As we come in fairly close. This does not have a docking port, otherwise I would be aiming for that. There we go. And we'll just flip around so that Valentina has as easy of a time as possible. Flip over here to Valentina. Put her out on EVA. There we go. The question is, where is... Oh, these RCS thrusters are loud. There we go. There's your door. Okay. We're going to get rid of our targeting info. Or just switch to orbit. Point a little away from the space station here. And then point our happy little butts retrograde compared to Kerbin. Goodbye, space station. Get our periapsis down. Should I try? I feel like I should maybe try to rescue this craft. That's fun. Let's not close on our antenna there. There we go. That's better. A little bit better of a way of doing that. All right, well, a little bit unnecessary of a side quest. Didn't mean to do that, but here we are. If we get in trouble, I can always eject the engines, as well as all of this. So the Kerbals should not be in any danger whatsoever. Should these start to overheat and look like they're maybe going to burn up. Hopefully it doesn't come to that though. And real quick while I'm thinking about it, let's do a quick save. Just because. And we're gonna time warp until we come down into the atmosphere. And then we're gonna physics time warp at least a good bit of the distance in. Gonna make sure old Jebediah is maintaining us prograde or retrograde, sorry. So the engine bells, which are definitely able to withstand heat, are the things taking the brunt of the re-entry force. Let's change that down. Where is... Looks like we'll be coming down in the ocean, hopefully. It's usually a pretty good sign. Although, maybe not. Hard to tell. This is all clouds. No, it's not. That's land. That's clouds. We'll see. We're still fairly high up. There we go. Got our plasma coming in. We'll speed this up a bit. We don't have to watch the whole re-entry from nothing. Keep our hands off the keyboard so while we're doing physics warp, I don't screw up the the trajectory here. Look at that. I do love the parallax mod. There's the sonic boom, or one of them, as we actually get enough atmosphere to actually be exceeding the speed of sound. Looks like we're doing fine overheating wise. I do like how in the physics warp the angle of those changes. See, it bundles in a bit. Just kind of fun. Okay, let's let out the parachute. Still going pretty fast. See if we can slow that down at all. Oh, whoops, I had the wrong measurement on. That's why it looked like we were going super fast. I was like, man, we should not be going 180 meters per second. Okay, 11 is a lot better. Yeah. Alright, well, I was freaking out a little bit for nothing. So, there we go. As we get close to the ground, let's change it to ground, relative to ground height. There we go. And we should be able to recover at least some of the cost of that launch. Bit of a failure on our initial mission briefing, but turned it around into a tentative success for getting Valentina off of the space station, so now I have a backup pilot at the very least. Yeah, let's see. Recovered 2,000 funds. We'll recover all of this stuff. We will go into our tracking station. Recover that. And we'll blow that up. Okay. That is not how I wanted that to go, but it's fine. We should. We'll do this. This is what we were trying to do last time. So we will reconvene that. Have an engineer attach panels to a target. We can do that some other time. We've got a mission now to put a satellite in Minmus orbit. We are going to not use that rocket. We'll use this rocket. Which I believe, yeah, has all the stuff it needs. Should have, let's see, satellite, antenna, Science Junior thermometer, Science Junior, and a thermometer. Okay. And we want some fins. Oh, we want snap. Yeah. Okay. I believe you have plenty of Delta V. That is the engine plate. That engine is off, which is why that's all weird. That has plenty of stuff. What happened last time? I thought I was able to get this out there. But maybe I wasn't. We shall see. Okay. We'll go to the launch pad and see if I can figure out what the issue was. Hopefully it wasn't anything. Maybe it was just the stability issue. I think I ran into that with this rocket as well. I don't think it was anything else. But yeah, so we'll give it some SAS. Give it a nice hard launch here. And it's off. Not the most efficiently designed rocket, admittedly. Oh, yeah, that is wildly unstable. Look at that. That is... yeah, because it's all held up by that tiny little part right there. Oh, yep, there it goes. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna see if we can fix that. I do auto strut. We'll do that, and then just because I like doing this, we're gonna go with a 3. And in case you're wondering why I'm doing this instead of, like, I don't know, something a little more stable, it really is just because yeah, we'll put that there, and I do need a reaction wheel. I believe that was something I was missing from last time. It's an inline stabilizer. Put that in there. And then that has solar panels. It's got thing. Do you have a stabilizer? I don't believe you do. Nope. You do not. So what we're gonna do... Is there one right there? No. Now there is. Okay. I roleplayed like the inside part of that shroud would definitely be utilized for stuff like that. You would not do anything else with that. Okay. Let's launch this. Let's see if we get any more of that wiggling. I don't think we will. We shouldn't anyway. Alright. SAS on. Control surface check. And away we go. Yeah, it's a lot more stable. Really needed to point this more, but I wanted it to be as short as possible. I know. Not the most efficient design. That's fine. Okay. Oop. Don't get outside of that little bubble. That's where you run into issues. See how it's curving a little bit? Partially because of air resistance. Okay. Our apoapsis is now officially high enough. Go for main engine cutoff. We will get rid of those control surfaces doing anything. We are going to go into our map so we can plan our maneuver. We're going to see how far this will take us. Ideally, yeah, that gets us Just there. Okay. And now we are going to open this up. There's nothing in here, right? No. We are gonna extend these solar arrays. Extend those solar arrays. Deploy that. Okay, everything is looking fine and dandy. These should not be draining. Okay, but those are. Perfect. Now we just wait for our burn time to start. We raise that periapsis up so that this is now orbiting freely. And then what we're going to do is jettison this back down safely to Kerbin so that we don't leave a bunch of space trash. And hopefully, with the parachutes and everything else, we can kind of recover some of those funds that we used to build this rocket. Kind of looking at this, but mostly looking at this number. Okay. So now that we've got that, we are going to go for separation here. Yeah, I did make a mistake where I had this stack separator, as well as the engine. Not a big deal. Not a huge deal, I should say. But a bit annoying. Yeah, we're just going to point ourselves back this way. Ooh, that's maybe a little too steep. I'll see if I can bring that up a little bit. I don't want to come in quite that harshly. I didn't realize how much delta V I still had. Okay, usually about 30 is good. And then we just point ourselves retrograde again. We've got plenty of electric charge. Got plenty of time on our alarm clock. We've got 13 minutes for our periapsis over here. So once I get this stabilized pointing retrograde, I'm going to flip over. Holy Poo Towers, is this space? This is space, and welcome in, Muse. Alright. Can I switch to this other guy? And is it going to crash out on me? It did not. While I'm thinking about it, do our quick save. And figure out whether or not I'm actually going to be able to go to mid-miss. Stop running into the moon. I don't want you to. It's not nice. Can I? I'm not a fan of this. Come on. Figure it out. Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait a bit then. You're just gonna have to float here for a little while. Get rid of this. It'll be fine. Trying to get a satellite up over the smaller of the two moons. We'll eventually get there, but right now the larger of the two moons is in the way and it's trying to give me a nice little gravity assist with that I don't want. So instead we're gonna deorbit this. And see how well that works. Can I turn off? Yeah, let's turn off all this. And try to get this to re-enter nicely. Hopefully it re-enters nicely. Those are the drogue chutes. Okay, so we have everything staged correctly. At least, I'm pretty sure. Fairly certain. Looks like it is maintaining at least a local aerodynamic stability, which is good. I don't want it to flip the other way around and be a missile. Coming in pretty... we're doing fine. This should be good. Should be good. Getting a little toasty, but I think our engine bell can handle it. Yeah, we're just now starting to get the overheat warning. Oh, shoot. I don't think it's gonna make it. I don't think our engine's gonna make it. Yeah. There it goes. Yeah. Just as we start slowing down, too. Dang it. Okay, well. It was worth a shot. It's not the cheapest part to lose. Not the most expensive. At what point... I think I can deploy those? Yeah. Although they're kind of facing the wrong way. Let's see if we can get this to point the other way. Not quite. It'll be fine once these activate fully. That certainly wouldn't hurt anybody. Luckily, there's nobody on board. And we'll just physics warp down to the bottom. Down to Earth, carbon, whatever. Hopefully... I mean, that should be enough. It shouldn't explode from 8 meters per second. If it was a real rocket, it would definitely be heavily damaged. One part did explode. If I had the engine on there, it would not have exploded. Man. If only I'd come in a little slower. Would have been so much better. Oh well. We recovered quite a bit of money. Better than nothing. Not bad for a first test of that rocket there. So what, 1,200 from parts? Yeah, if we'd kept the engine, that would probably be closer to, I don't know, 10,000. Got some debris. We'll recover that. Can I see the other debris? I cannot. So I'll have to go here. Recover some of that. And terminate that a little bit. And fly this guy once again. Okay, so this is what we're trying to send off to Minmus. Yeah. So let's go pop out into the map again. Yeah, see, I think the moon, the mun, whatever. I think that is too close. So we'll just circle around a few times here. Should be good. Try to maneuver out here. And see if we can get this to work now. Oh, there you are, somewhere in here. Oh, come on. Pick up the node. Not periapsis. There we go. Let's see if we can get this to go on the correct side here. Let's focus our view. I don't know why it's red. It's an interesting development. Oh, come on. Let me see my maneuver node. Why are you not showing me? There we go. Okay. That's a bit problematic. Okay, well, it should be good enough. I mean, it'll require a mid-course correction. Oh, am I still running into the mun? Is that why? Let's not do that. Why? Why do you insist? You happy now? Yeah. Now it's a little happier. Just had to fix the staging a bit. Okay. Let's refocus. Let's see what we can do here. Just a little. Okay, nice, fun little sat. It's not really why I wanted to click on that. I wanted to click on it so I could get back to this guy, wherever you are. There you are. Sometimes the focus view is just easier to reset like that. Okay. So you're still running into the mun. So let's keep this up. And we'll just wait a few hours till the mun is further out of the way. Mun should be far enough out of the way now. Let's do this. Oops. I guess I wasn't close enough. There we go. Just pop this out a little further. Is there a reason? I feel like this is usually about where I should be. Maybe about there. But let's add a maneuver here. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So, need to just... Okay. Focus view over here. Change it to maneuver 1. See if we can get a little closer. We want to go right about here, I think. Yeah. And then we want to go to maneuver 2. And we want to actually move you. Can I? Maybe I don't want to screw with that too much. back to maneuver 1. How close? Let's get rid of maneuver 2. We'll just keep maneuver 1. That's in 8 minutes. That'll get us on about the right trajectory. Yeah. And then let me see. For KSP, focus view back on ship is... Can't think of the name of it, but it's by the 1 key. There we go. So once I get on the descending node here, add my maneuver. Yeah, that's pretty close. Not close enough, huh? I did something wrong. Definitely jumped it up a lot. Okay, well, that should be good. I don't know what's going on, man. Okay, whatever. We'll just time warp over to here. Da 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 da. It is fine. We will go over to our maneuver node. We will time warp a little bit, just to 40 seconds in the future. Keep our happy little butts on that maneuver node. And away we go. Keep Kerbin in the background here. Or something. Something like that. Slowly getting there. At least it's not a nuclear engine, or heaven forbid, a freaking ion engine. Super efficient, but the worst things to not have better time warp for. Let's see how close we can get that. There we go. Okay, so got rid of that. Now our downward node is here, and we need to adjust it 5.3 degrees upward. And it says, hello, Mun. Would you like... Okay, so we actually need to come down. But we do also need to go out. Slowly come in. Hey, I wasn't done with you yet. Okay, I don't remember where... Apoapsis. Oh. 1.6 million. Okay. You guys can be way out here. Somewhere in here? Sure. What would the inclination is 6. I don't think that's what I need, but okay. Whoop. That's not what I meant. Okay. We want that to be about the same. Yeah. 580. Or 501. Sure. That's close enough. We'll slap an alarm clock on that sucker. We'll call this Min-Sat maneuver. Satman. Yeah. We'll add all that. Okay, so we have 2 alarms going. And we've also got just this guy. 1 more little burn. Mostly normal direction. We'll just warp up to our launch. Or our burn, I should say. There we go. Now, how close are we? Pretty close. It'll be pretty close. So, not bad. In 6 days, we'll have that going on. we will save this real quick so we don't run into our crashing simulator problem that we had last night. Let's see. Well, we've got 2 days before our next maneuver. Let's go over to the tracking station, see if there's any quick wins we can get. Quick being relative to Kerbin time, not to real life time necessarily, because quick real life time would just be go over to time warp to the next maneuver, wham bam, do it, be done. But I don't want to do that. I would much rather see if we can get some of this stuff. Do we get... Okay, this gives us science. No, we're not doing that one. They want me to, like, land on the mun with Taurus. Nope. Not doing that. Science data from Minmus. Green sandstone. Oh, I guess I can try to rescue Migas. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So let's get Migas from Orbit of the Mun. And golly, like... What is the difference between the Mun and Minmus? Theoretically, Minmus has a higher delta V requirement than Mun low orbit, low Mun orbit. That's what I thought. So why was I making it so difficult? Okay. So what we're gonna do, we are going to take that same Minmus relay right here, and we're gonna do our auto strut again, and this time we're gonna get rid of that so that that's all one solid part. And we're gonna say like, where all does this? Ideally, this should not allow fuel. Like, that node should be cut off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say no to that, just in case. Okay, so we've got this rug. Okay, we don't need any of that. We do have solar panels. Really don't need a lot of those. I think we really can get away with just these two. You know what? We should do 3, and we should... Oh. We should do 3. We should mount him here. And then what? Should get rid of that. Should have an inline stabilizer. How much are these? 360. Those are 5. Yeah, those are more efficient. I think that's fine. Should be fine. And then we want, what, a Mark II command pod? Mark III? I think we need a Mark III. In fact, we could get away with one of those, I think. Can we get away with something else? Where payload? Thank you. That's what we have. This would be like that. How does this open? Like that. Okay. So that's not super useful. I just don't like the way it's gonna look. Well, let's start off with a Mark II command pod. Let's then do thermal heat shield. We will recover solar panels. Yep. We're gonna have a parachute. How much can you carry? 50 Gs. 50 Gs. Wait. Oh, here we go. Packed volume. Oh shoot, this thing is 10 times bigger? I mean, that should be fine, right? It's a pretty small command pod. I feel like it doesn't need that much. Okay, well, what is the total weight of that service bay? 0.3 tons. This was 0.3. 0.05. 0.35. 0.45 tons. 0.75. 0.78. I don't think it's coming out the same. That's already exceeding it. And that's before you include passenger mass. And then you have this, which also by itself exceeds the amount. But I do have to go less far. much do you have? 660 and 540. So let's find something equivalent to that. Or multiple things, I guess. I need a coupler. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. I know. Okay, I need a coupler. My 4660. So this holds less. Yeah, that makes sense. So on the one hand, let's save on fuel. Weight, I should say. Fuel weight. But on the other hand, that means I have less fuel. But that's 2,500. Why are you all weird? I don't understand. Okay. Feel like try. 3,800. It's 3,900. That should be close. It's approximately 2,400 to get to the moon and back. So this isn't enough. Right there. That is not enough. But is that? That is more than enough. Or do I go away from the cheetah, which is this guy, which has 355 ISP, and go with what, the poodle? Poodle is 350, and it weighs more. Yeah, so sticking with the cheetah is the best bet. Just grabbing people from the mun is so unnecessarily annoying. Okay, tell you what, we're gonna go and do some SRBs just to get us that little bit of extra. Yeah, because this should be fine. 7 tons, 77 flea. Oh, that's 0.375. And that's 1.5. Yeah, we'll do a couple of those just to get us that little bit of extra. So get us one of these. And then that down. Actually, let's move that down a little bit more. And move that up just a hair. Okay. Then add our structural bits. And then some wings. And then add those there. Yep. That should work. Wow, that's big. How much are those? 0.075? Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. We'll do Mun Rescue. Do a capsule. We want to get rid of Bill. Yeah, we'll use Valentina. She's pretty close to getting her second rank, so we'll give her a chance to actually get up there and do it. Yeah, we'll stick with classic white, I suppose. And then fix our staging. Thrust limiter is there. Wait. Where? Not sure where that engine bell is coming in. So let's make sure that that's actually in there. Oh, whoops, not a coupler. We want the engine plate. And then the engine. And we want to change that to what, medium short? Yep, there we go. And there it is. Okay. So we've got engine 1, 2, 3, and stack separator, or not stack separator, stability thing moving up. We want those to go next to separate the SRBs. Then we want that to go. And then we want the engine to turn on. These will come later. Separate that, and then, yeah, parachute. Okay. I think we're good. We shall see. We'll see how good Valentina is. And we'll see if we can get them, get Migas back home. Let's get Migas back home. Good Lord, let's get Migas back home. All right. Oh, that is very unstable. Let's not launch that. We will strut these all together. And because I almost forgot. We want our structural struts. We're gonna go from here to there. No. Why did you think I meant that? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now we're doing it. If it'll load. There we go. Whoa. I'm gonna save it real quick because that looks not great. Ah, there we go. Fixed. All right. And away we go. Valentina's off. Happy and smiling. Make sure we keeping an eye on our apoapsis and all of our readouts out here. SRB's basically got us to the speed of sound, which is nice. Didn't have to get through the soupiest part of the atmosphere. It's not nearly as soupy as it used to be back when KSP first came out, but it's still relatively soupy. All things are relative. We're on a pretty good heading, I think. Our apoapsis is working its way towards that 70-kilometer mark. Our bubble has kind of exceeded where I wanted to go, though. It's on the wrong side of the line there. Let's bring it in a little bit. There we go. We are now going to be on a suborbital space-bound trajectory. There we go. That should, yeah, that'll give us plenty of fuel to get back. And we'll just keep it right about there. I'll be fine. Okay. That'll be good. Got our couple of solar panels. Make sure we've still got all that in there. That's still all good. Make our burn in 20 seconds. Game time. Valentina does not quite know all of the maneuvers that Jeb does. Part of why I want to take Valentina on this trip. Get her that experience. Get her leveled up. Okay. We are now in an orbital trajectory. We can now safely decouple ourselves. That really should have... Why did that not work? Are you kidding? I thought... It's supposed to. So why didn't you? Okay. I'm gonna try this again because apparently this is not working the way I want it to. Which is to say... Oh, is it too small? Is that what's going on? I think it was too small. That should decouple it. Let's move all this up. Okay, so we want all the engines to go at the same time. Then those. Then that separates. And then that goes. Yeah. Should be good. Should being the operative word. Jesus. I don't know why that didn't work. That should have worked. It might have been just because it was too low. But let me see. I'm going to run a test. I'm going to quick save because I'm safe scumming. Because I want to see what happens if I decouple that. Yeah, see, that didn't work. Why isn't that working? Yeah. I don't... That engine plate is supposed to disconnect everything below it. So like if I make it long, maybe that's what's going on. And then if I hide that, okay. I think I see what needs to be done. Oh, come on. There. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, for some reason it was not connecting as an engine plate, it was just connecting as a coupler. But this should solve it now. Should be good. Hate it when that happens. I need to just trust the process, trust what I'm doing. And I didn't. And that's what happens. Okay. Here we go. Valentina, one more time. Forgot to fix my staging. It's okay. We will figure it out. Going for SRB separation. There they go. Beautiful. It's getting just a little off course here. Trying to keep it right on that 90-degree line. Mostly the prograde bubble is what I'm concerned about, not what my nose is pointed towards. We'll switch to maneuver mode here so we can see what our apoapsis is going to be. Now it's at 32 kilometers. Start pushing ourselves more east to west. Should be a pretty good angle for pretty much the rest of our main burn number 1, I should say. Slowly angle it a little more down. We are out of the soupiest part of the atmosphere, so we can get rid of our control surfaces. They're not going to help much at this point. We do have a gimbal on our rocket engine. That's going to be doing pretty much all of the control for the remainder of our space flight. Our apoapsis is now in a suborbital trajectory, so we're going to go out to the map mode so we can make a little maneuver right here. Bring ourselves, so our apoapsis and our periapsis are both above that 70,000 mark. That should be sufficient. Now let's work on our staging. So we've got the engine still, the engine shroud, and then those four. What's this engine? Okay, it's occluded right now. Should be good at some point in the future. Make sure those are still in the right spot. Okay, I think everything is good. We've got just a couple of control wheels. Which are going to make this a little difficult. I believe this has a control wheel as well. Tiny one in it. I remember right. Yeah, it has reaction wheels. But most of the reaction wheels are right here. We're really just using this as a guide, but really we're going to wait until our periapsis is above that 70-kilometer mark. This will tell us when we're getting close. I mean, so will this, technically, but, you know. Switch to a little bit more manual here. And we're good. Our main engine cut off for the second time. And then what we're going to do, we're going to see if this actually works this time. It sure did. There we go. So we are now out. Valentina is separated. This should have a reaction wheel, does it not? Oh, you're dead. Oh. All right, well, what we're going to do then is we're going to lower this throttle way down. We're going to switch over to this. Actually, wait. Switch over to this. Turn off SES so we can conserve battery. Now switch back to this. And we are going to go for a moon orbit. Moon intercept. Mun intercept, I should say. Okay. We're going to focus our view, set our target, focus our view over here. That's not what we're going for. We're going for that little guy right there. Migas. We're going to just sneak ourselves as close in here we really can. We have way more than enough. Our burn is going to start in 16 minutes. So what we're going to do, since we don't want to run into that, we are going to warp over to that. now see, this is way out of the way. We are just going to straight up burn a lot of that fuel. We're going to set this one on our way. This is career mode. Welcome in, Zarin. There's some custom rules that I've set, but it's, for all intents and purposes, normal career mode. Oh, come on. There we go. Forgot to activate the engine. Happens when it's late at night and I have work early in the morning. I will eventually want to switch back to that craft before it burns up in the atmosphere. But it should take a while before it burns up. And if it does burn up, that's not the end of the world. But I did add parachutes and stuff to it, so I can hopefully recover at least parts of it. Last time I recovered that same rocket, sadly the engine bell blew up, which was the most expensive part of it. But I still was able to recover about $3,000 reduce, which was nice. Yeah, I've been through campaigns before. It's been a few years. So on this one, one of my goals was to not save scum super often, and also to try to not time warp as much. Like little time warps I'm more than happy to do, but like what I did in my first couple of careers is I would just like do one mission at a time. So like I'd go all the way to Minmus and back and not do anything in between. So this time what I'm trying to do is like if I send something to Minmus, or like this rocket right now is going to the Mun, just trying to set, you know, like alarms and stuff and do other things in the meantime. So, oh wait, no, I want to get rid of this. Where is... Probably want to do a mid-course correction somewhere around here. Yeah, about there. Okay. Set an alarm there. Yeah, the recoverable stages, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, recoverable stages cost more generally, I found. But if you can do it in such a way that you can recover, like, everything, then that's pretty nice. Let's go to my tracking station. Yeah, what happens when I have to do a Jewel mission? I mean, yeah, Jewel, Duna, things like that. I mean, I'm going to have to time warp quite a bit for sure. But I do know there was one guy who was doing this on Twitch for a long time. I can't think of his name right now, but it was like 10 years ago. But he would do things basically in real time. The only time warps he would do were like basically physics time warps, so like up to ×4 or so. It was wild. Like even things like Jewel missions, like he did. God, I remember him doing a freaking ion engine burn that took 10 hours of real life time or something. It was wild. I mean, one of the things I appreciated about him, and I think he appreciated doing, and most of his audience liked, was he really was kind of like a sleepy streamer. So people would tune in, he'd just slowly, put him to sleep, and he'd just do his missions, and that's pretty much what he did all day. I guess he earned enough money off of it that he was able to do that, um, which was pretty cool, I think. But yeah, like dedication. I could not watch a screen like that for 10 hours. Um, okay, so we are slowly coming in. What is our height? And where are we going to land? It's a good question. I think it looks like we're on a good path to land in the ocean. If I land on the ground, parts of this explode for sure. Let's speed up a bit. Let this go on its happy, merry little way. Oh wait, we want to close that. I'll just let this rotate about. That'll help slow it down more. Or not speed it up as fast, I guess, right now, since it's speeding up as opposed to slowing down. Sometimes the parallax mod is really nice. Sometimes you get some funky artifacts like that I'm not a fan of. If you zoom out, it's hard to tell. But you zoom in and it's like, you can tell where the where the polygons start. Probably is better on lower time warp. It's only slightly better. I wouldn't have guessed it can survive the heat. Last time I came in a little steeper and the engine bell did not survive the heat. Just barely. Like, it got to the max Q, basically, max heat flux, not max Q really. And that's when it exploded, right as it was slowing down to the point where it was no longer going to affect it. You can see right here too, it's starting. Let's see if I can get it to survive a bit better. Let's see if maybe tilting it up and down will help. Usually that helps, but it does look like we're creeping up. Hold on. We might make it. It's getting close, but it's not quite there. Yeah. Yeah, the flop around method, it really does work. There we go. I think we're good. We're out of the worst part of it. Let's see if I can get it to slow down to the point where we can get these parachutes out. At a time. Not too concerned. Slowed it right down. Nighttime water landing, not my favorite. It's a little hard to see on stream, especially. Disable all that, save the last little bit of our battery. And as we get really close, and recover. That's why you save a little bit of fuel too. All right, let's see what we got here. 21,000 recovered. Is basically, honestly, most of that is the engine bell. It's kind of crazy how much the engine really does affect that. I think when I didn't recover the engine, I got like maybe 5 grand back from the fuel tanks and such. It was not great. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting some visual glitches from the parallax mod. A little disappointing. I love the mod, but occasionally I run into visual glitches. Okay. We are just gonna warp right on to our next maneuver here for the Mun, because it's only 40 minutes away, and I want to finish this up. Oops, where's this node? Maneuver node. There it is. This is gonna be, if I can rescue Migas and get Migas back to Kerbin, that's gonna be the last thing I do tonight. I do have work tomorrow in the morning, and it is past 11, which is great. But let's see, got not too long left, 10 seconds, plenty of fuel. Pretty close, I think. I focus on the moon? No? Alright, that's fine. I guess... Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's just warp there. It's not the longest time warp. And... Hey. Sphere of influence change. And there we go. Ooh, we're getting a pretty close intersect, actually. See how close I can get that. I have enough fuel that I'm not too concerned about being as efficient as possible. The fact that my periapsis is low on that side, like, I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, we've got 1 day until our min-miss maneuver, so we should be really good. Let's change our thrust limiter back up to 100 because that's a long burn. Oop, missed my maneuver node. There we go. I am not doing a landing. So there is I have a mission to rescue a Kerbonaut who is stranded in orbit around the Mun. Their name is Migas or Migas. I've been calling them Migas. It's worth a lot of money, worth a free Kerbal, which is always nice. No, this is way too. This is not a good rocket for a landing. There's no landing legs. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, we are gonna go add a maneuver here, just so we can time warp to that. And this is the person we're trying to rescue here. So we're coming in for an intercept. Coming in really hot. Let's see if we can see them. Should be somewhere. It might be in a really tiny capsule. It's usually pretty hard to see them until they're right on top of you. We're gonna do a really inefficient burn. This is just retrograde to target, basically. Oops. I meant to do retrograde as opposed to away from target. It was pretty close. And then we're gonna go towards the target. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch this intersection get closer and closer. This is my lazy method of doing it. Not as efficient, but, you know. We're just gonna warp right to that intersection. We're gonna make sure we don't lose it. There we go. T minus 2 minutes 36 seconds. 1 minute. 11 seconds. There we go. Let's see if I can see it. Should be within a kilometer. Hard to know exactly what direction it's in. It says it's up there. You are. That little dot right there. That's Migas. How close are we going to get now? Extremely close. All right, Valentina. It's your time to shine. See what that is. What kind of capsule is that? It's a little pomegranate or pea or something. We'll just get a little closer. I don't actually need to get this close. At this point, I can shift over to that, but... Oh, it's an onion. That's what it is. All right. Let's see. Migas is a scientist. Are you... Yeah. Just blast him with your engine. Yeah, honestly. There we go. And you know what? While we're out here... Oh. I guess I don't need that. Okay. Guess I've already done one of those. And I've already done one of those. Cool. Yeah, honestly, it's nice that parts don't really get destroyed from a small light engine blast. It's also nice that everything has perfect, like 100% efficiency and everything. Can I get rid of my target? How do I get rid of my target? Can I change my target to Kerbin? No. I thought there's got to be a way. I just can't remember it right now. That's fine. We're just gonna add maneuver right here. And watch our periapsis. Oops. Yeah. Get rid of you. Stop it. Sometimes these maneuver nodes do not do what I want them to. You're gonna go right down to about 40. Right there. That's in 6 minutes. We'll go back to the map. Warp on over. Watch that little onion just do its thing. Let's quick save before something goes screwy, as it has a tendency to do. Harvester Massive. Cool. Happy that you have a signal. And putting up a satellite network, comm network, slowly but surely. They give you contracts to do it all the time. Which does end up being nice, honestly. There we go. And yeah, our periapsis is pretty good. We're supposed to hit that in a day and an hour. That's right after our minimus maneuver. That's pretty great. Okay. So we'll put an alarm right there. It gives us 17 minutes. That was quick. Okay. Oh shoot. Did it make me miss this maneuver? That's wild. Yeah, it sure did. Crazy. And needed to go the other way. Okay. Little annoyed that it warped me so far past. But it'll be fine. Yeah, it like threw me way past. It's wild. It's supposed to, I hit the periapsis there. Waited until it was there. It'll be alright. Used just a little bit more fuel than I intended, but it's okay. And we're just gonna go retrograde here. Yeah, this is the type of visual glitch I'm talking about. It's just a bit weird. Okay. We should be good. 3 days. Landing. Yep, that's our next one. Alright. Our periapsis is low. So we should be good. Just separate. That's okay. We don't really need any of that. Yeah, the graphical stuff, like, it clears up, and it looks super good when it clears up, but there are random locations where it's really not good, and I need to figure out what's going on, because it's clearly just on my end. Like, I've seen other people with the mod, and it doesn't do that. Not nearly as often as it does for me, anyway. But, like, I love stuff like this. Like, you don't get this in stock Kerbal. Hold on. Let me see if I can change some of this sound down a little bit. There we go. Doesn't need to quite be that loud. But yeah, it's just annoying. But I do love how the parallax looks, like with the atmosphere stuff, the way it makes the clouds look, the way it makes the plasma and everything. Yeah. There you go. Later. It's amazing how much comes off of it. Just with a mun trip. Right. We should be able to jettison that. Come on, fly off. Fly off. Get off of there. Yeah. There we go. Ooh. That's pretty cool. Hitting the sound barrier repeatedly. 2 streams in a week. Yeah. Finally got a couple minutes to myself where I didn't have to, like, do something with the house. Alright, looks like we're right over the ocean, which is always a plus. Let that parachute go on the grind set. Yeah, if you can call this grinding. Literally just doing what I would have been doing anyway if I wasn't working on the house. Saw you over in my turf. Yeah, I mean, of course. I've got you up. I've actually got a second computer right here. So get to be immortalized in the chaos. Yeah, of course. Glad I caught your stream as well. Finally fixed the issues that I was having with these rockets. So I caught up to where I was yesterday now, before it all crashed and lost all my data. So this is officially further than I got yesterday because of the loss of data. Yeah, we do need to get back up on the chats. For sure. Oh, Nye Island now. Glitchy. Not glitchy. Glitchy. Not glitchy. Welcome back to Kerbin. Migas. Finally got you back. Oh, did technically earn some science, I guess. Oh, it's because it was a suborbital flight. That's actually funny because I wasn't trying to make it suborbital. Um, but okay. And we've got ourselves another scientist in the form of Migas. How did he get stuck there? I don't know. They give you these quests, and they really are just like, hey, there's a Kerbinaut stuck out there. And you're like, how? I run the space program. I didn't leave them there. I want to say they act like a contractor did it. Let's see if there's another one. No, I don't see another one. Let's see. Rescue. You see, I did a lot of fairies in a row because they were easy. It was like, oh, just go suborbital. Suborbital. Piece of cake. Let's see. Rescue. Yeah. While cleaning up after an unintended ignition, one of the overworked teams at Winter Owl Aircraft raised an interesting question. We've lost a Kerbal. Could you find him for us? Oh, what were the green lines? I will show you. So these are all of the communications arrays. So as you start launching satellites and things, you build up a comm network. And so it's showing how the different satellites are connected to each other. It's not super impressive right now, but as you go out into interplanetary space, like it becomes a lot more important to have the deep space network. Otherwise, you can't use rovers and stuff in the middle of interplanetary space, and you have to use a pilot Kerbal, which at a certain point I just don't like doing. Like it's a lot higher risk. You could lose them. If you're sending something to Jewel, just send a robot. It's cheaper, but it does mean that you have to have like, you're gonna have to have something in Dres, usually a couple things orbiting the sun somewhere around here, just so you can actually get around the sun to talk to Jewel, etc. Um, right now, it's mostly so if I build a rover or something on Minmus, I actually have communication to it. They added it in vanilla, yeah. Yeah, I want to say it became a lot more important in Breaking Ground. I don't remember. It's been way too long since I like. Oh, you last played in 2014. Okay, so yeah, a lot has changed since 2014. Definitely recommend getting the two DLCs if you haven't, because they add a ton of content and also a ton of flexibility, like with the robotic parts and everything. Like I was able to make a fully functioning um, B-52 bomber, basically, like because fully stock. Like I don't use mods other than like the parallax that I've got. Um, yeah, and if if you haven't heard already, avoid Kerbal Space Program 2. Absolutely do not buy it. Um, it is not a finished product, and it never will be. So I'm happy you chose the right one. Um, because yeah, that one's never gonna be finished, and I would hate for somebody to get all excited because of like Artemis 2 and all the other space stuff going on right now, and be like, oh, there's this Kerbal Space Program, and they see that there's a second one and spend $60 on a game that's just garbage. Okay, that's a little unfair. It's not garbage. It's just not worth $60 and is never going to be finished, which is sad. Um, but we have Kitten Space Agency slowly being developed, which is awesome, and I'm pretty happy about that. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna add I'll add another satellite mission here. I don't think I'm able to do a Gilly one yet, just because I don't have the research to get the bigger rockets that I really would want for that. I can do the polar orbit of the moon, but that's not really worth a lot. I guess it'll work for. Yeah, it'll help with my network anyway. Okay. And with that, I am going to make sure I save. And I am going to call it for the night. Because it is pretty late. So I appreciate you all coming in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the chats. Welcome to the community. And as always, good to see you, Mark. Hope to catch your next stream. Don't know when your next one is, but and thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Anyway, have a great Monday night, everyone, or Tuesday morning, I suppose, depending on time zones. And I will see you soon.